Hey guys, I'm RozaldVaneGAME and welcome back to another episode of Root Letter. So where we last left off was we basically started chapter 9 of the Himagomori Forest ending. The Princess of Himagomori Forest. Yeah, so we started that one off in the previous episode, but then we kind of like started officially going through it more deeply in the previous episode. But right now, so far, where we left off is that the mother of Shiori, the person that we're looking for, who is actually the one who was our pen pal, the mother is here to talk to us about the truth of what she knows about her daughter. So we're gonna have to do that. So, 15 years ago. Tell me the truth of what happened 15 years ago. Yeah, it seems like the bestie is like a little bit hesitant about it still. Maybe she seems disinclined to talk about it because Yoshi is here. So I have to talk about the mother first before. Apart from bestie, is this the first time you all met Yoshi?
見かけたことがあるくらいで話したことはない。
いつもお店で忙しそうだから。
Oh, that's strange. So all these classmates of Shiori has only seen briefly of her, but never really interacted with her. I guess it's hard for her to talk about it. Now can I talk about the truth? Tell me the truth of what happened 15 years ago. Okay, no, they're just hesitant still. So, I guess I'll think. What I should show them... Oh, okay, I gotta show them the magazine first. Got it. So we picked up the magazine in the previous episode. A little different from when we first picked up the magazine for the Crossing Paths ending, so we're gonna have to do it this way again. I showed him the November issue of Teens Queen from 15 years ago. There's a photo of her in her school uniform. This girl pictured in the uniform in the cute girls around at town section was my pen pal. Her name is Shiori Yoshioka.
ええ、そうよ。文野綾を演じていたのは彼女よ。
Okay. And now can I ask about the truth? Tell me the truth of what happened 15 years ago.
私も聞きたいわ。
Wait, oh, what? The mom doesn't even know?
お母さんの前じゃちょっと。
Screw you, buddy. Screw you. Fatty, you need... Amori, stop. Jun, you need to not do this. Don't deny what the mother can't not. Because she didn't get to know what happened. It makes no sense to not tell her. She's already not even aware what happened to her daughter by this point. How dare you? You promised you'd tell me.
そうなんだけど。
The mother, I guess. Did you know about Yoshi, Four Eyes?
いえ、どうだったでしょうか。
He isn't so much as looking at Yoshi. Yoshi... Tell me the truth of what happened 15 years
私も
ago.
聞きたいわ。
お母さんの前。
Okay, so I have to do something again. They seem to feel awkward talking about it in front of Yoshi. Then I'll ask Yoshi. Classmate first. Did you know about the classmates, Yoshi? I asked Yoshi. I don't know why you keep telling me this
え
again.
え、全員知っとる。しおりからも話を聞いちょったけん。
Oh?
あなたたちにも私の話を聞いてもらいたかったの。
Oh, really? Bestie knows about it. Everyone else doesn't, I guess. Okay. The truth. Tell me. Please, stop holding it back, game. Just let it flow out. This interaction is so hard to picture at the same time. Yoshi, please let me hear what you know about what happened 15 years ago.
いいわ。それなら私が話すわね。
I bet Bestie has a different angle while the mother has a different angle of what happened to Shiori back in 15 years ago, maybe? Kudasai. The 7 classmates don't open their mouths.
しおりは記憶障害のある文野陽子さんのために亡くなっとった文野綾さんを演じたのよ。
Okay, that's not any new information. That's not new information to me. How did she wind up pretending to be Aya?
それはクラスメイトさんに聞いて。
Oh, so is this gonna go back to the original way of how they explained how Aya came about to, or how Shiori came about being a pretending character to Yoko, I guess. Details of pretending to be Aya Fumino, reason for pretending. These are somewhat the same things from back when I asked about it, I think. Why did she end up playing the part of Aya Fumino?
発端は15年前の春よ。私たちとしおりは日帰り旅行をしたの。
If it's the same thing, I'm gonna skip over it because I don't want to see any more information about
歩い
it.
て帰る途中で雨が降ってきたのよ。
Yeah, because if it's the same idea, then I'm gonna skip over most of it because I've already seen a good chunk of it. But this looks different because originally it wasn't raining, I think, but in this version, it's raining. Large drops of rain start to fall.
どこかで雨宿りしましょう。あれ、しおりがいないわ。
Wait, what?
あそこよ。
Oh, that street we've never seen before, but we saw it in the credits. Two episodes ago, we saw that in the credits. So I'm kind of curious what that street's all about. There's a Western-style 2-story wooden house with a triangular roof. Shiori is at the front porch waving her hand.
雨宿りさせてくれるそうよ。
Oh, so the professor didn't approach Shiori through the school front gates, but instead, Shiori just found her way to this house by chance. While the other version was just more like coincidental and the guy just saw her. The other 6 comes running in. The door opens and Professor Fumino comes out.
中で雨宿りしてください。
Interesting. So this version is a little different than the other. Yoko and the 8 enter the house. There is a high-quality, luxurious couch, and on the white walls hangs a portrait of Yoko. There are also photos of Aya Fumino dressed up, various awards, and framed newspaper articles,
ヨーロッパ
yada
の
yada
貴
yada.
族の屋敷のようね。
Yada yada yada, same dialogues
こ
as,
ういう生活、
Same-
憧れちゃう。
same dialogues as it first was, and I honestly think it's fine because it makes sense that they would say the same lines, considering that 1, it saves budget for making them read another line, and 2, it's pretty much the same scenario almost, but a different introduction to how they ended up in the Yoko or the Fumino residence instead.
若いお客が来るなんて久しぶりですね。
Yoko Fumino gets up from the sofa and stands in front of Shiori.
あやさん、おかえりなさい。え？雨に降られてしまったでしょ？
Okay, so Shiori was just like surprise versus her original version where in Crossing Paths, she was just like, yes, I accept being Aya kind of feeling. But instead in this one, she's just like, what,
お
surprised?
友達を連れてきたのね。いつもあやがお世話になっちょます。
Yoko bows deeply to everyone. The classmates look dumbfounded.
このさん世間知らずでしょ。皆さんにご迷惑かけちょらんかね。
Honestly, I just don't like the Yoko character as much. She's been a chokehold of every single ending, is that because of Yoko, Shiori is not having a good life to begin with. That's the messed up part, is that we're selfishly letting this character become this sort of like key piece of a character to somebody who doesn't really matter throughout the story. Because Yoko didn't even get involved with anything throughout the story so far. So my assumption is Yoko could be a throwaway character at any point of the story or at any point of this ending, and yet they're still using her as an excuse to bring Shiori the way she is to Aya, as Aya.
すみません。人違いしています。私は吉岡しおりです。何言っちゃうかね。ママをからかうつもりかね。いいえ、そうじゃなくて。
Oh, so her feelings was denial. Like she's really Shiori is denying being her daughter, while the other one she was accepting about it.
あんた、自分が誰かも忘れたかね。あなたの名前はあや。海のあや。
Yoko, you're delusional. Stop.
声に出して言ってみなさい。海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。
She's downright creepy. I feel like this ending is meant to be creepy.
違います。私。
Although Yoko's gonna scream.
あなたは海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。海のあや。
Yikes. Professor Fumino approaches.
陽子、やめなさい。 彼女は綾じゃない。
あんたまで何を言うかね。あやじゃない。よう見だわ。あやよ。あやが帰ってきたの。
I love the actress. I like the actress a lot and how she acts the whole thing out. But holy hell, the voice actress is doing a great job of making this creepy as heck. Even though there's not a lot of facial expression animation going on, it's just wow.
奥で少し休んでいなさい。
だもん。
いいから。奥で休んでいなさい。
Yoko looks at Shiori with baleful eyes as she retires to a back room.
すみません。驚かせてしまって。
あやさんって誰ですか？
No, and then he reveals the truth because previously he reveals the truth right out of the gate before actually getting to this point where he introduces Yoko to the kids or to the classmates.
10年前に病気で亡くなった娘なんだ。
この写真の人ですね。
Bessie turns her eyes to Aya's pictures.
綺麗な人だな。
Gal and Four Eyes are looking at the cutout of newspaper articles.
お嬢さん、松江大場高校だったんですか？
ええ、そうです。
私たちも松江大場高校なんです。
What a surprise!
それは奇遇ですね。
Yes.
新聞で取材されたんですね。
高校生 IQ テストで1位だと書いてあります。すごいじゃないですか。
Okay. Shiori and Bessie are looking at Yoko's portrait.
この絵、お嬢さんが描いたんですか？
綾の夢は画家になることでした。
美人で成績優秀だったんですね。
天は二物を与えたわけか。
I'm surprised that this guy is caring about that.
でも17歳で亡くなりました。妻は娘の死を受け入れられなくて、綾が帰ってくると信じているんです。
A very delusional sort of like thinking, but okay.
岩見の姫が森の姫の言い伝えみたいですね。
From the back room, Yoko's heart-rendering sobs can be heard. The eight shudder. The eight of the students shudder. I'd say that so kind of giving a brief summary of what the history of the princess of Himagamori Forest. A brief summary of that because I know that was like a while ago. I think it was like in episode 20 something. When we went to Lefakado Hearn Museum, maybe? I can't remember. I think that was when the guy, the supernatural guy talking about the old ghost stories showed up and talked about the story of the princess. But basically the princess's kingdom, I think, castle, was being under attack and she had to run away. But then she fell upon this lake and she got taken by the lake, I think. And then she was never to be found again, I think. Something like that. I don't remember if that was the exact summary, but it was something along those lines is what I remember it being.
あなた、吉岡さんと言いましたね。
はい。
こんなことをお願いするのは心苦しいのですが、陽子のために綾を演じてもらえませんか。
Huh.
でも、
妻は病で長くはありません。その間、娘が生きていると思わせたいのです。
Interesting. So this time the husband says that the wife is ill and she won't be long for the world. While the previous version, it didn't really mention that outwardly. Like, it didn't really mention it much more specifically. Instead, it just mentions it kind of... It doesn't even mention it at all whatsoever, if the wife was ill or not. But it still doesn't explain why the house got burned down, though. In the original story of the original sort of like story thing, Ishihara tells her story.
しおりはそれを受け入れました。
Of course. Yoshi looks displeased as she hears this.
あの男のやりそうなことね。
Wait, she knows? She knows him personally? She knows Professor Fumino?
おばさん、Fuminoさんを知っているんですか？
If you knew, why didn't you freaking say something about it? Oh, maybe I'll make this assumption. Maybe she's actually his mistress. Like, he probably had an affair, but then it never like was mentioned
先を聞かせて。
Yeah, I guess we won't know until the story's over.
しおりが文の邸に行くようになって、しばらくして陽子さんが文通相手募集の記事を見つけました。
Yeah, that's the same thing. That was the same thing that was told to us last time, and that was me.
彼女は仕方なく返事を出したんです。
No choice? What do you mean no choice? She got a choice not to respond. Maybe she got desperate for somebody to kind of hear her tale or her side of things, that she didn't have any other way to bring it around to like make it even, make it at least like she needed somebody to share it with, but she didn't ended up sharing it with the bestie all the time. All right, let's ask Professor Fumino first. Actually, what was Fumino like? I asked Yoshi.
私も数回会ったきりだけど、何を考えとるかよくわからん人だったわ。
As the old guy always is, he's very secretive still. He is still secretive throughout this whole ending, throughout the Crossing Paths ending, and this one, he never really says much about who he is exactly, or what he's, like, what kind of professor he is, he doesn't say. What is his motive with Shiori in general? Like, how is he doing things? Why is he doing things with her besides giving most of Shiori sort of like the personality that Aya had? Like, I still don't get how we don't try to explore more about the professor. But I'm assuming maybe one of the endings might be that. Who knows? Maybe. But also another mystery that hasn't been explored is like the fire at the Fumino residence. I'm wondering who's causing that fire and why it was caused to begin with, but we have yet to explore that as well. What happened to her?
勉強を教えてほしいと言われたんですよね。
Oh, this is the story again, where we go back to the past. And Four Eyes says, hey, you are too smart for these topics, and you're getting all this help from the professor, yada yada yada. I remember. Rowdy boys, chatty girls, a typical high school break time scene. Four Eyes is at his desk reading.
メガネくん、ちょっと教えてもらえるかな。
どうしたんですかね。
わからないところがあるの。
どこですかね。
Shiori shows him her notebook.
勉強のできる男子っていいわよね。
Shiori gently takes Four Eyes' hand.
メガネくん、かわいい。
What? Shiori shows an enchanting smile. Oh, it's different. Instead of him saying...
彼女はしおりじゃなくて別人のようでした。
So instead of Shiori showing Four Eyes how smart she has how smart she has become because of the professor, instead she becomes more elegant-ish, or a bit more, I guess the worst word to say, but seductive a little bit. Like, she's trying to be more like charming in a way and less smart about things. But that's kind of weird too, because it seems like it's all influenced by Yoko probably at this point. So maybe the difference here is that Professor Fumino was more of the important role of turning Shiori into a smart person in the Crossing Paths. But for this one, in the Princess of Himakamori, Yoko is the one who's being the one who pushes more influence to Shiori and becomes more ladylike in a sense. Maybe. Someone else?
それは。
海のあやよ。会ったことはないけど、そう感じたはずよ。
その通りです。
Oh, okay. Well, now we're looking at Gal. Aya, tell me more. Who was she exactly?
こっちが聞きたいよ。しおりは一体どうなったんだ。
So he doesn't even know. Okay. Excuse the car driving off in the distance in the background. Then what happened to her?
見た目もあやさんになっていった。
Oh yeah, Gal said the same exact thing at the last time. Eh?
9月の初め、陽子さんのバースデーパーティーがあって、私たちは呼ばれたの。
Oh yeah, because they had to go visit the Yoko's birthday party. Gal thinks back to that time. The 7 classmates chat as they eat.
バースデーパーティーをやるなんて、しおりは何を考えているのかしらね。
I mean, at the same time, she kind of, like, Yoko calls her out as, like, a ditzy or a klutz kind of Aya version. But I'm wondering how this is gonna look like, because it looks like Yoko might be very stern.
美味しいものが食べられるからいいだろう。
I bet Yoko's gonna be very stern and rude about Shiori being not as close as Aya or something. Yoko comes in looking irritated.
あやちゃん、おせやなね。
どうしたんですか？
あやちゃん、まんだ着替えちょみたいなに。
急におしゃれに興味を持ち始めたみたいね。
A door opens and Shiori comes out.
あやちゃん、素敵よ。
どういうこと？
Shiori is in the same dress as one in Aya's photo and has the same hairstyle. The classmates are holding their breath as they look at Aya like Shiori.
あれはしおりじゃないわ。文のあやが生き返ったんだわ。
I mean, she does look kind of like Aya, looking at it briefly now. But it's just the hair is a little slight different from Aya.
姫が森の姫の伝説だ。一度死んで美しくなって帰ってくるんだ。
In this case, I want to just like shove Shorty's face off because it's getting annoying that he keeps saying that. It's like, he said this last time too, but it didn't make any sense to me because it didn't relate to the ending yet.
驚いたというより怖かったわ。
I mean, everyone was shocked.
その頃からしおりを避けるようになっていったの。
Oh. So Shiori playing the part of Aya created a rift in your friendships, huh?
しおりは別人になってしまったんだよ。
Okay. The way after that. The way she was after that. What happened to her after that?
実は僕も同じような体験をしています。カラコロ工房の帰りです。
Okay, I don't think there's gonna be anything different here either. It's gonna probably be the same sort of like conversation, maybe slightly different. It's dark out now. Large flakes of snow flutter to the ground. In the lamplight, they make it feel like a dream. Shiori holds an umbrella as Fatty walks with a stained glass lamp in his hands.
デブ君、キスしたことある？
Huh?
キスはどんなスイーツよりも甘いのよ。
Excuse me? What? She didn't say this last time. She said something else entirely different. What?
そうなの？
私とキスしたい？
それは。
したくないの？
This is awkward as heck. This is so
それ
awkward.
はしたいけど。
It's so awkward because it's like out of nowhere for one, and that Aya has again become more like inviting about like dudes getting to her or something. I don't know. It's weird.
それならはっきりと言葉にして。
It's so weird.
しおりとキスしたい。
いやらしい。デブはエロ男ね。エロデブね。
Whoa! What? It just came out of the left field that she just switched. She just switched behavior. What the hell? At one point she was inviting and then she just slapped him in the face.
だって言葉にしてって。
Yeah, what the hell?
デブとキスするわけないじゃない。楽しかったわ。バイバイ。
Shiori leaves on her own. Wow, that is... Wow, that is painful. So she's a rude... She's a rude person. What? I'm just surprised how
あれは
rude
し
she
おりじゃな
became.
かった。
That was not Shiori. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, but also crossing path made him look like a creep, but for this one, it made her look more like an asshole. She's more like a rude person. I am surprised. I am so surprised that she's changed so much from that point. Amori, what did you do after you parted, Fatty?
驚いたし恥ずかしかったよ。まさかあんな風に言われるなんて思ってなかった。
Fair, very fair.
それにあんなことを言うような子でもなかったんだ。
I would agree, because that was the first time I've ever heard her say that kind of thing. So she did change after all. Okay. How about Yoshioka? How did Shiori continue to become like what progressed after that part of her showed up? Do you have anything else about her?
火事で陽子さんが亡くなって、
Oh.
しおりはあやさんになる必要がなくなった。 それなのに彼女はアヤさんを演じていた。
My god. Sheesh. Okay, so basically in this case, Yoko did die in the fire. So there's more information that is new to us now, which is for sure Yoko does die in the fire. Because they did claim that the fire claimed one person in that incident. But in this case, Shiori never gave up being Aya. Instead, she continued being as Aya at this point. Versus crossing paths, she kind of gave up Aya immediately after graduation.
アヤに体を取られたようだったな。
My goodness.
しおりは自分の体を取り戻そうとして文のアヤを殺したんじゃないかしら。
Excuse me with the what I just did just now. But really?
何があったね。
Yeah, let the mother know, please. Let the mother know what happened. Graduation ceremony. Please tell me about what happened after graduation ceremony.
卒業式の後、しおりは教室で自殺したのよ。
Is this real? A real committing, or is this just the fake thing again like last time? My assumption it is the fake thing from last time because we lost the cochineal for the fact that we needed to scare Fatty a little bit. So I'm assuming that this is going to be the same thing. After the graduation, the 7 classmates are called to the class.
話ってなんだよ。
みんな適当に席について。
They all sit down.
みんなに挨拶したいの。別れの挨拶。
Shiori stands in front of the blackboard.
今日で私はみんなとお別れです。
All of them look up at her at a loss of words.
文の綾はこの世からいなくなります。さようなら。
I still don't know how she would claim fake blood on her hand. I just don't get it, but whatever, I guess. Shiori cuts her wrist with the knife in her hand. Fresh blood spurts out, making a pool of blood on the floor. The 7 classmates are aghast. Shiori falls lifeless onto the pool of blood. Okay. So I mean, we know this incident pretty well. I get it. Fatty starts to feel ill and sinks to the ground. The blood from Shiori flows over to where Fatty was slumped.
これコチニールだ。血じゃないよ、作り物だ。
So that always has to be cochineal in terms of being the fake blood. Always needs to be consistent with this part of the story. So it means that she'll always do this kind of thing, I guess, in each ending, but it's going to be told differently, I guess. With that, Shiori gets up, the blood is cochineal, and the knife is also a fake.
これで文の綾は死にました。もうこの世にはいません。
But again, this is before the fire incident came up, so I wonder what's going to happen next.
私は吉岡
Oh,
しおり違う。私は
oh boy, this is creepy as heck. It's like really like a horror movie come to life here. Shiori holds her head in her hands.
しおり大丈夫？
So in the case of the crossing path, she was normal. She was acting like the same as herself. But this one is, she cannot go back to being herself anymore. Shiori lifts her head. Oh god, that's creepy as heck. That's the same laugh as the ghost lady, the mask lady, wasn't it?
あなたしおりよね。
Shiori suddenly smiles and turns her head.
吉岡しおりは死んだ。私は文の綾。私は生き返ったのよ。
I don't know how you would develop a personality disorder in like a span of like 1 year, but holy heck. That's kind of weird, but okay, I guess. Nobody can develop that kind of thing in just 1 year, unless you're just some special talented actress who can actually turn at a whim and not get swapped back to who you were originally, which is kind of freaky, but the 7 are frozen in fear. Okay, creepy.
しおりは綾さんを殺して終わらせようとした。
It's a machine. It's a virus inside her brain. We need to clean it with Norton. Or no, I'm not sponsored by Norton. We gotta clean it up by whatever antivirus software that exists in this world. Sorry, that can't be.
私たちは誰かに相談したかった。でもこんな話は誰も信じてくれない。
Why? Why would you keep it as...
心に秘めることにしたの。
Then what of the professor? Because the professor didn't die from the fire. Only Yoko did. So I'm assuming that Aya probably started that fire then. To think a dead girl took over her body, which is kind of weird.
あれがしおりの本性かもしれんわ。
Huh? What do you mean by that?
しおりとあやはよく似ちょうに、あやを演じることで本来の自分が出てきたの。
How does Shiori have a true surface? A true self? How? What?
しおりとあやさんが似ているとは思えません。
Well, you're not her mother, so I can't say you can't confidently claim things when you're literally talking to her mother.
似とるのよ。だって二人は実の姉妹だから。
Knew it. It's probably... I called it. I'm pretty sure this is a mistress to Professor Fumino. She probably had an affair with the professor, and then she gave birth to his... So basically it's like a stepdaughter, in a sense. Those two were sisters? None of us can believe what we're hearing.
しおりは生まれて間もなく当園の私たち夫婦の養女に出されたの。
Wait.
両親は文の夫妻よ。
But that's weird. How would the mother not remember that she had a younger daughter? That's so inconsistent, though. It would have been much more coherent if it was like Professor Fumino was having an affair rather than having to deal with adoption. Because adoption makes no sense by that point. Because the wife can't just go crazy and forget the daughter right off the bat, the younger daughter. But it could be the fact that they gave her right after she was born. So I guess that could be the case. But that's so weird to just randomly forget your own other daughter that you gave birth to. Literally, you had her in your tummy for 9 months, and you literally just gave birth and then forget all that happened? How can that happen? That makes no sense. I've never heard of it. That's the first that I've ever heard of it. Unless she really had, like, dementia, like very strong dementia. Or very strong amnesia somehow, but that still doesn't explain anything. Why did they give her up?
はっきりとしたことはわからないわ。しおりが養女に来て数年後、あやさんが亡くなり、私の夫も事故で亡くなった。
Oof. So both people got claimed by their lives.
不幸が続いたんですね。その頃、文野教授から連絡があったの。
He wants their kid back. Professor Fumino wants his kid back. My daughter's dead. I need somebody to be the heir to our kingdom. It kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like that if he's like contacting her so that he can take back the daughter. That's so disgusting and depressing at the same time. Yoshi is talking with Professor Fumino.
松江に引っ越してきてはどうですか。
どういうことですか。
綾が亡くなった後、陽子の落ち込みがひどいんだ。
Screw off,
しおりを連れて行くつもりですか。
いや、そうじゃない。でも、しおりが近くにいれば、陽子が喜ぶと思ってね。
No, Yoko's gonna become much more like obsessed about keeping her daughter to herself after that point, I bet. But it's also sad because you're ripping Yoshi of like many years of taking care of this kid just to give it back to her, back to the biological parents, which they themselves did the whole initial like giveaway to begin with. Like, if you were this adamant about getting their daughter back, you shouldn't have given her up to begin with. That makes no sense. It's so weird and makes no sense.
それで松江に引っ越してきたんですね。
And she's working part-time. I'm assuming that the professor also gave her some money just to survive long enough to support the kid.
文野教授は最初からしおりにあやを演じさせるつもりだったんだと思います。
So it was kind of like, instead of Professor Fumino planning it on the spot when he reached the high school of Matsue Oba, instead of planning it on the spot there, in this case, this alternate path allows for him to be that he planned it from the start of where Shiori was born, basically. So that means that he's planned this all this time, so that if one fails, he can just try to force the other one to come back somehow. That is disgusting, and that's depressing, and that is really not cool. This Professor Fumino has become also as awful as Yoko has. I just don't get it. These two parents are the chokehold of literally everything. I don't like this.
あの日、いきなり雨が降ってきたから、文の邸に行ったんです。
He probably was waiting, and when he saw the chance and opportunity, he took it. I think he was very patient about it.
雨が降らんかったら、道に迷ったとか言って訪ねて行ったのよ。
If it was just for Shiori to play the part of Aya Fumino, there was no need to involve anyone else.
姫が森の姫の伝承を利用しようとしたのよ。
Oh?
死者が美しくなって戻ってくる。
Shut up, Nozu. I don't care about your stupid folklore thing.
岩見の出身の陽子さんは伝承を信じちょった。それで、綾さんが友人と文の邸に戻ってくるという筋が気にしたんだと思うわ。
Oh, I see. So Yoko was a very strong believer of that tale or that folklore, but then the professor probably remembered it, and so he tried to play it in that capacity. So Fumino deceived everyone.
僕たちまで騙さなくても。
Why? What do you have to do with anything of it? You're not blood related to them.
真実を知る者は少ない方がいいのよ。
I don't get why Fatty keeps interjecting in a fact that he thinks that he's the important character. Why do you... Jun, you're not the main character here. You're just part of every other character here that's almost about the same level as you, besides my character, of course. It just makes no sense. I don't get why does this guy keep thinking that he's important in this whole story scenario.
この話を聞いていたら誰かが口を滑らせた。
そうね。今の話は高校生には重すぎる。誰か大人に相談したかもしれない。
Yeah, I would have probably approached an adult to talk about it, but I think that they wouldn't even believe them either.
すべて陽子さんのためだった。そして計画は成功した。大成功だった。
A great success for just a certain limited time, I guess. Alright. Yeah, so we're pretty much over time, but we'll finish this conversation in the following episode for now. So far, it's a lot of information to back out into one here in this particular episode, but heck, a lot to freaking get through. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode of Nobody Minds. Hope you guys have a great, amazing day, weekend, night, or whenever watching this. Next episode, let's hear out the rest of this tale of this sort of like thing that has been happening. Hopefully we'll figure out and get to the bottom of this, and then see where that takes us from this chapter 9 into the chapter 10, because I'm guessing we might see Shiori again somehow, but it would be a little different and very much weird, but we'll see about it. I feel like we also are missing a few more items still. Yeah, there's some missing items that we're still missing, but I'm assuming that we'll probably get them. Maybe one item here in this particular ending, hopefully, but otherwise that will be whatever it is. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one, and we'll see what happens in the next episode. Roz, out.